10 years ago, Disney's John Carter opened nationwide. Meant to be a potential franchise-starting blockbuster, it was savaged by critics, who called the film wanly, plodding and routine entertainment weekly and a giant, suffocating doughy feast of boredom. The Guardian and was met with indifference by general audiences, who simply didn't show up. It opened in second place, behind forgotten animated Dr. Seuss adaptation The Lorax. Quickly, the movie and its fate took on a nearly mythical dimension. It wasn't just the box office disappointment, it was a staggering creative and commercial failure, the kind of movie that is often mentioned in the same breath as other high-profile misfires like Ishtar or Waterworld. But the actual story of John Carter, how it was conceived, what happened during production, and how it all fell apart thanks largely to a misguided marketing campaign, is much more complex and much more interesting. Most Hollywood bombs are perceivable early on, through a toxic combination of untested filmmakers, defeat or unfinished screenplays and unfortunate miscasting, leading to a troubled production that eventually equals an underwhelming film. In the 2006 documentary Untold, Tinseltown's Bombs and Blockbusters, Morgan Freeman equates the making of a cinematic debacle to an airline crash. It's usually caused by a series of mishaps. John Carter had none of these elements. There were no true mishaps. It was based on a beloved and highly influential property, created by craft people at the top of their game, led by a director whose previous films were runaway successes. The simple, sought-after narrative of what went wrong quickly falls apart, or is at the very least obscured. And because of that, it makes telling the story of what happened much more complicated. Rap talked to a half-dozen creative principles involved with John